So today I was wondering if I can gush with you about 5 things that I love about being a UX designer. That way, if any of them sound like something that you might enjoy, you and UX might be a match made in heaven. So let's get started. So the first thing I love about being a UX designer is the fact that I get to analyze people. I studied psychology in college, so I've always been incredibly fascinated by people and observing their behaviors and understanding why they do the things that they do. With UX design, a lot of the same research methods that we use in psychology are also applied to user interviews or different types of studies in order to validate a hypothesis. So I've always felt really familiar in this space. So if you're fascinated by people and you often find yourself people watching, then UX might be a really good place for you. I will have to say that this next one is probably one of my all-time favorites, and that's empathizing. Empathizing has hands down made me a better designer because you have to be able to create different types of solutions for different types of people. When I was working at an agency as a UX designer, I was designing for so many different types of people and people that I never thought that I'd really interact with, from paddleboarders to pastors to real estate agents, cyclists, foodies. So it's something that's been really, really fun. This next one's great because it's something I used to kind of hate about myself, and now because of UX design, it's something that I love about myself. And that's being able to use my overthinking skills. So if you have this skill, not only would you probably make a killer UX designer, but I also would love to meet you because we're probably gonna be best friends. I grew up always thinking about every single scenario possible. The best ones, but also like the ugly and the worst ones. And I used to just not really love that about myself. I feel like it was like my inner saboteur using it and weaponizing it against me. But ever since I started designing, I realized that it's a really great thing to have, because when you're a UX designer, you're creating paths, not only the happy paths, but also the edge cases or like the very rare scenarios that happen for a user. So if you often find yourself thinking 3, 5, 10 steps ahead and thinking about every single fork that a user could possibly go in, this place might be a really good area for you to thrive in. So the fourth thing I love about being a UX designer is that I can work in tech. I mean, let's be real, like technology is very cool. How could you not be excited by it? And when I mean tech too, I'm not like one of those people who sit out in tents overnight at the Apple store and I don't own like every single gadget imaginable, but it's more just being able to work in such an innovating industry. There's always some new and emerging trend, and for me, I get really excited when it has to do with human connection, whether that's ethical or accessible design, and finding new ways to create a really awesome customer experience. And I know tech gets like a really interesting reputation, right, from all these turtleneck wearing dudes and like shows like Silicon Valley and kind of like the tech bro culture, but you really do get to work alongside some super, super smart people. And what's awesome about that is that you're one of them. And as a UX designer or product designer, you end up working with so many different departments. And I actually have a day in the life video that is posted here. Feel free to open it in a new tab and watch it after this one, because this next one that I love about UX design is very nerve-wracking, but it's also pretty rewarding, and that's having an impact. Having an impact is cool and all, but that also comes with pressure. When you work on a product that hundreds to thousands to maybe even millions of users use on a daily basis, it's a lot of pressure. But what's cool about user experience is that it is very results oriented. I used to work in a career where I didn't really get to see the numbers as much, and so it was hard for me to measure success. But with product and UX design, you're looking at your KPIs and your analytics to understand whether or not your product is doing a good job and how can you make it better. If you're responsible for your one product, what's so great about that is that you can constantly mold and shape and find ways to make it better. It's kind of like your little baby that you've raised, and you're able to see where it used to be and where it is now. And that's just always something that I've loved about UX design, especially if you're in an organization that values UX design a lot. And to be completely honest, I've always been really nervous of pressure. I always sucked at sports in school, and that's why I only did track or cross country, because I didn't want to deal with like a team sport or something weighing on me. But UX design has completely pushed me out of my comfort zone to a point where I have a lot of ownership and responsibility, and it's really helped me grow as a person as well. So if you really want to challenge yourself in your next career, and this sounds like something you want to do, UX design might be a good fit for you. If you still feel like you don't have the full picture of what UX design is all about, then feel free to check out this video to learn more.